Am I overstating it when I say this is the biggest White House presidential scandal in history?
No, I don't think so, Sean. And listen, I'll tell you something that I haven't said before because it came from a Secret Service whistleblower this past year. I talked to so many of them after the attempted assassinations of President Trump. But this Secret Service whistleblower actually was assigned to Biden, and he told me that Biden used to get lost in his closet in the mornings in the White House. I mean, the guy literally stumbling around in the White House residence couldn't find his way out of his own closet. The president of the United States. I mean, this is outrageous. We were lied to. And Sean, you know as well as I do, the press has a huge role in this. I mean, the press actually is really important in America. They're supposed to report the truth. It's what you do every night. It's not what the liberal media did, though. They sold this country out for years, and they did it for power, and they need to be held accountable as well.
Well, what about this idea that there was more activity, Autopen activity, in the last 100 days than there were in the first 3.5 years? Or a staffer saying, well, if he's reelected, you know, we'll put him in hiding and bring him out every once in a while to show proof of life. That's not very reassuring. That sounds to me like people fully understood that they were going to be in power and in control, and he was not. That to me is a constitutional crisis.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the worst constitutional crises of our country's history, and we've just lived through it. I'd like to know. We need to find out who actually signed off, so to speak, on all of those Autopen signatures, on all of those pardons, all of those clemencies. You remember, Sean, who he pardoned and who he granted clemency to in the final months of his presidency after they lost the election. I mean, it's an unbelievable rogues gallery of crooks and criminals and terrible people, rapists and others. I mean, who actually was doing that? We know it wasn't Biden. He didn't know anything about it. So, yeah, we've got to figure out who was actually in charge, because it sure as heck wasn't Joe Biden. And I just come back to the fact that the media knew this. They knew it. They lied about it. They betrayed us, Sean. They betrayed this country. They sold this country out for their own political power. These people can never be trusted again. And they need to be held accountable as much as anybody else.
Do you believe if people did this Autopen without his knowledge, is that obviously illegal? And would that render those signatures irrelevant? In other words, those pardons may not be lawful?
Well, Article 2 gives the president and only the president the power to grant pardons, clemencies, and so forth. So if someone other than the president was doing it, Sean, I don't see how those things can stand. I mean, this is why we've got to figure out who was actually in charge here. And the thing is, it would have been a lot easier to figure out if we hadn't been lied to for so many years. And like you said, we could all see it. The American people could see it. But we were systematically lied to by the Biden White House, by the media, and now we've got to get the facts. I mean, it's a huge, huge stain, a huge crisis for the country. It's amazing we survived it, to be honest with you. You think how dangerous this was. What if there had been a nuclear war? I mean, that's how dangerous it was.
Do you believe that you should call in the Biden family? Should Joe Biden, should Hunter Biden, should Jim Biden all be called in?
I think we've got to let this investigation go where the facts lead it. I mean, we've got to follow the truth here, something that was not done for the last 4 years. And I will just say the Bidens have always gotten off the hook. You know, you think about Hunter Biden, his many crimes. I mean, he was one of the guys pardoned, obviously, by his father in those closing days. They always were held to a different standard, a double standard. I think it's time for the end to the double standard. Let's get the truth for once. Let's actually get the truth and go where that leads us.